Welcome to STL City Showdown. I'm AJ, and I'm joined with Steve and Andre. And what a game!
Well, that's an adjective. Yes, it was a game. Yes,
it is an adjective. Yeah.
Yes, it's an adjective and a noun at this point because it was a thing. Of all the games that have ever happened, that was one of them.
The best description. Okay, podcast over. See you guys later.
Get up, boys.
That was a good one.
All right, so what we're going to do first today is we're going to come up with 3 words, and each of us need to come up with 3 words, 3 single words to describe the game as we saw it. So, and then a quick reason why. So I'll start. I've got my 3 words here. My 3 words
are,
let's
hear it.
Defense, offense, and embarrassing. So our first word is defense. This game was clearly a defensive strategy game, and our defense shone throughout this entire match. Our defensive midfielders, our back line, our goalie, all just stood on their heads and just stopped this super high press that we saw from San Diego. Just stopped it dead in its tracks. Between you got headers, you've got blocks, you've got just bodies in the way. They couldn't do anything. They were flying all around at 100 miles an hour, but like they just got stopped every time. So my first word is defense because so my second word is offense. Like, is that a thing that we can still do? Because it looked like we never had a desire, and that's come from the coach. We never had a desire to actually play offense last night. It was from Ted Lasso's park the fucking bus. It's like as soon as the game started. And I'm kind of new to soccer, but I think that might have been a tad too early to decide to park the bus. Maybe you wait, I don't know, until like sometime. But like as soon as the game started, Melberg's like, park the bus. So, all right. And my last word is embarrassing. And it is because of that chant that we saw. That San Diego now, all of their goodwill is gone. I've been on Reddit and I've been on Facebook today kind of checking every now and then, and on Discord as well. And between the team president, the team coach, all the fans, instead of celebrating the fact that they had over 35,000 people at their home opener and it was a hell of a game and they stopped us from scoring, they have to spend all of this goodwill, all of this time defending not only the team, but unfortunately the city as a whole from this nonsense. And we also hear people are like, it's not that big of a deal. And clearly it's a deal. And so it's embarrassing for the league. It's embarrassing for the team. The league as a whole is going to have to figure this out quick because that's really bad. And, it's going to get worse if they don't. They've got a couple weeks so the excitement is now cratered, and that's unfortunate. Again, that's some of that embarrassing. So I'll let you guys go next. So that's my three words.
Okay, mine is a riff on a movie from the late 90s, maybe mid 90s. It's my 3 words are waiting to exhale. Well, I'm just saying the whole game. I was sitting there like, all right, like we can't keep up this pace. But like I'm kind of holding my breath, I'm kind of puckering on the back end because I don't know if we're gonna shit the bed or not. So like it was just. We kept getting punched. And I mean, to our credit, we didn't fall down, but it was just the whole time. It was constant barrage of like us having to defend, us having to kind of react to what they're doing, right? Never did I feel like we had any momentum or any swing or we were in control of it. Mm-hmm. It was us just kind of, defending the whole time. So it was when it was over, took a breath and I was like, well, at least it wasn't a loss, right? So
yeah. That's a hell of a word because, it's like the entire time with their press, we're like, like many times it's like, son of a bitch, and then nothing happened. So, yeah, I like that. That's really cool. I like that. It's good.
Yeah. The thing that frustrated me the most, here's my 3 words, pass to Berkey. We had absolutely no progression. Our build-up sucked last night. And I felt like all we knew how to do is pass back to Berkey, and then Berkey would just start to build back over. And it was just a cyclic thing that just would keep going over and over again until we lost the ball. I mean, heck, even on goal kicks, it was very obvious that they were focusing on just doing the standard build up. And there was a point where San Diego was being hyper aggressive with pressing even Berkey at sometimes. And I'm just like, how do you defeat that? Well, how do you defeat it? You kick the long ball and push them back further. And it was just, oh man, it was just like banging our heads up against the wall.
In fact, the announcers were even, I guess it was Twellman was even saying like, he needs to get that ball out sooner or further because they were pressing him so much. And like, I think they made a comment one time, Berkey might as well get the ball up so they can kind of force something in the final third. So yeah, that was pretty obvious.
That was our first little game segment. Our second segment, you guys ready for this? This is in spirit of tonight, which is the Oscars. This segment is the Oscar Goes To. This is going to be the easiest one, and I'm sure this is going to be unanimous. The very first one, this is for man of the match. Oscar goes to Kessler. It has to be Kessler, right?
He's the only one. He's the only possibility. Yeah, he's the only possibility.
You guys ready for this one? The Oscar goes to Rapids or San Diego as a tougher opponent.
I think San Diego, right? I don't remember being stressed during the Rapids game. So
no, and San Diego beat their very first game ever. They beat the defending champs. Then they drew us, and like this was a very frustrating game because of that press, because they just were nonstop the entire time, which is great. That's good for them. But and then Colorado drew against us, and then they drew this week as well. So they have the exact same amount of points we do. So like I would say between the two that I would say that the Oscar would definitely go to San Diego for being the tougher opponent week 2 of this year. Yes.
And also remember, San Diego had amazing passing. They were something like 90%, 632 passes. 632. Guess how many we had? 217. And we had something like 77%. The average is somewhere like 78, 80% passing. So we were about average. But San Diego, man, they had some really crisp, good passing. It was great. I think if they can keep this kind of thing up, they're going to do really well this year. They're going to be yet another expansion team that just kind of takes off and does well. You know, fortunately, we didn't fall to them, but, you know, we also didn't win against them either.
I'm going to say it's going to be hard for them to sustain this for an entire season, and the West is incredibly strong. We're talking about our team being like a 5th place possible team, and we are experienced. We've got now, this is our 3rd season. Our players are used to the travel, used to those. When they have to go to the East Coast, that's going to really kind of test them. So it's going to be relevant. They're that excited kid that just is running around like crazy right now, and they earned it. That's great. Good for them.
Sorry, you did point out that they are, kind of local right now. They're still on the West Coast. San Diego to Los Angeles, it's about it's a bus. About a 3-hour drive, right? So like, they haven't been road tested, I guess. Yeah, and that's good to point out.
That's true. That's an excellent point.
Right.
In the spirit of catastrophizing, the Oscar goes to the fan that is catastrophizing and thinking that we are going to be a last place team, or the fan that's taking a more realistic approach, who's saying, okay, it's only 2 games in.
Yeah, it's got to be the player that says it's only 2 games in. This ain't last year where we looked bad. It was clearly a don't lose, don't get blown out. If we score, congratulations. We're sitting back. The first game against Colorado, we had a lot of shots, and they just didn't go in. So like, yeah, I'll take this year over, and I'll take this year 2 over panicking anytime right now.
What about you, Andre?
Agreed. I think, if anything you want to take away from yesterday, again, we looked stout defensively, man. Yeah. I think that's kind of, did we set the tone for the game? No, but it was one of those, we kept bending and bending.
Right. We didn't have to.
Right.
Like, they were trying to set the tone. They threw everything at us, and we just stood there and we're like, yeah, come on, do something. And we still didn't lose.
And it's true. And I think from last year, what I remember was we won the games in the first half. If we didn't win them then, we lost them the second. So it was kind of refreshing to kind of see that we held it up.
Yeah, I feel like it's like, imagine a cartoon, and it's like a kid that's trying to swing at like this big guy, and the big guy holds his arm out and the kid is just kind of swinging and just completely missing.
Yeah,
That's
just
what our
pushing his
defense
forehead.
was like against San Diego. All right, so I got one last one for you guys, Oscar, and I'm gonna jump all over this one. Oscar goes to, for this game specifically, Betcher or Kloss. And I'm going to have to say Kloss for this one because I texted you guys during the game. I was like, man, I really wish Kloss was out here for this game. I'm not saying like for the season. I'm talking about this game specifically because we had so much trouble progressing through the midfield. Kloss playing that false nine would be kind of perfect, especially since Betcher plays a little bit more forward. What do you guys think?
Yeah, not that I'm trying to agree with you on everything, but I do think when Klaus came in, like it was just him. Like his presence was felt. I think we kind of got a little bit more offensively in position, and I think that's because his presence made it, for plays on defense. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
I don't know, man. I think that if Klaus was out there the entire 90, I don't think we would have gotten even those 2 shots we had. Vector is just the difference maker. Now, what I will say, and I've said it before, that Klaus's big body out there, he was only out there for he came in the 60th minute. So while he was only out there, he was the most fouled player out there. He was fouled multiple times. He won multiple duels, and he was out there doing that stuff. He had one kind of weak dribble shot, and that really didn't seem to impact much. But I commented, he looked really tired by the end of the game. He was only out there for 30 minutes, and I think he was sent out there as a change of pace. Now, I think we go back to having both him and Betcher up top. I think that's going to be, we have those 2 kind of dueling personalities out there that can do different things, and they both want to score. That's probably better, but I'll take Betcher for this.
So you would set Teutsch and have Kloss and Betcher up there?
I would. Or we would have to think of something else where we have Teutsch and Hardo both out there. But I want my big man out there trying to break up things and trying to score. So, yeah.
Yeah. I did go on record that he would be our leading scorer this season, so I kind of have to agree with Steve over here because I want him out there trying to get those points in.
Well, we play LA next. I wonder. They are a fast team. They're 0-2, and we're playing them in Carson. They're gonna have big chips on their shoulders. So, do you want what? I mean, I guess it'll be fun to try to figure out what the lineup should be with that. But yeah,
true. We have our next segment. It's titled "More Likely."
I'll give you a scenario, right, in which you think. You answer back to me which way is it going to swing between that scenario, between the 2 options, right? So, for example, in this upcoming game, who draws the first yellow card?
Durkin.
That's always going to be the answer, right?
It's always going to be Durkin.
What do you say, AJ?
He was out there for 5 minutes and he already got a yellow. He came in, I forget when it was, 60, 70th, whatever it was, minute. And then 5 minutes later, he got a yellow. Of course.
Because he shoved the guy. He shoved him sideways. You can see it. That's my man. That's my man just out there pissing people off.
Right. So you're saying St. Louis draws the first yellow card? Okay.
If Durkin's on the field, heck yeah. And he probably will be.
Durkin thumps the referee in the eyeball. That's how he starts off. He's just, hey, let's just get this out of the way.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. So this coming Sunday, right, both teams are on the bottom of 10 of corner kicks, right? Galaxy only has 2 corner kicks, whereas St. Louis has 6. Who do you think leads this game with more corner kicks?
My personal opinion is I think we're going to come out and have games similar to Colorado. Everybody's freaking out because we just didn't have offense this game. And the realistic thing is this could just be a fluke of the game. I think we're going to come out looking like we did with Colorado, and there's going to be a lot of shots on goal, and there's going to be more corner kicks, and we'll probably get the first one too.
I am going to say I think that while we are going to have more than we did this past game, that Galaxy is going to be far hungrier to not be 0-3, and they're going to be taking more chances. And with our defense being able to deflect balls like they are, we're going to be giving up a lot of corners. So I'm going to say that Galaxy for sure is going to have more corners by the end of this game.
If
The LA Galaxy has currently, as of this evening, has a pass percentage of 89.1. That's top 3 in the league. STL is in the bottom 3 in the league with a pass percentage of 77.8. Which team sees a bigger change after the next game?
I think that the Galaxy are going to go down. They're going to drop a few, only because our defense is going to break up some of those passes. Now, we're not a very good passing team. I do not think that if they drop down 5 points, we're going to somehow increase 6 points. We're going to somehow go from 77 to like 84%. No. Hell
no.
So no.
Okay.
I think the Galaxy's drop will be greater than our gain. Only because it's kind of regressing to the mean type of stuff. I don't think that we're going to all of a sudden become we're a 77 to 82% passing team. We just are.
Okay.
Historically.
I agree. Our team's been around going into our third year. There hasn't been a single point in any season that we've said, hey, we're a great passing team. Right? Like that.
No.
That's just not our focus, to be honest.
We had moments.
And there might be like little fleeting moments, but I wouldn't say that we're a great passing team. We're going to be average, or we're going to be around that 80%.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. That's how we will be. I'm sorry, guys, but
I think that when Hackworth was the interim, I think our passing went up a little bit. Like Hackworth's like, I don't know what to do. Let's just pass it a lot. And he was able to, I think we increased under Hackworth, but that was like we said, that was a part of a season, and it's not the trend. Our trend is that we take more chances. So our passing was probably higher this game because all we did was pass backwards. It's not hard to make that
I was going to say that too. Yes. All we did is pass backwards the whole time.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder if there's a way to look at the stat where it's like compare the passes forward versus back, the accuracy. Because I think we wouldn't like those.
They don't have that stat because who does that?
Right.
Like that should never be an issue.
Right.
All right. So here's another question. Did the LA Galaxy break their losing streak in St. Louis? Meaning, do we win and they continue their losing streak, or do they end up in a draw, or they win? What's more likely?
Well, considering all we know how to do is draw.
All we do is draw, no matter what.
What artists that way?
So, yeah, I would say a draw, honestly, is the most likely. I think we're going to break our scoring drought, but it's going to be like a 1-1 game or something like that. I don't see Galaxy scoring more than 1 on us. Maybe if we do get lucky, it's going to be a 1-0, but maybe I'm being a little too cynical. But yeah, I think it's probably going to end up with a draw just because maybe that's how I'm feeling today.
I'm going to go the other direction. I'm going to say that they are definitely extending their winless, their winless streak. I say we pick up 3. I just see how tough our defense was, and the fact that we get to stay out there in that nice weather. I bet they're training out there. I don't know if they're going to come back here and train in 30 degrees, but like just staying out there. And LA Galaxy is going to be so hungry. They're probably going to press more than they're wanting to, and they're going to give up some big chances, and we're going to capitalize. So I think we get the win. What do you think? Yeah, 3-1. I think we scored 3 goals, and okay. I do think that we
would be amazing.
3. I know draws on the road are great. I do not want to keep writing the D for draw on my schedule. I just don't.
Okay. All right. So then one last question, and this speaks to the cynic, And this can be answered in the next game, and it can continue on going forward, right? But who sees their first goal in St. Louis? The defense or the offense?
Defense. I mean, one of our best shots was Watts this past game. It's just in St. Louis history. I mean, Tim Parker, first to score for our inaugural season. I just feel like it's going to be the defense, right?
I have to disagree. It's going to be Betcher. Betcher is going to get it. He is so damn hungry. Or like one of the offense. I do think it's going to be our strikers. I don't think it's going to be our midfielder. I think it's going to be our strikers are going to get it. They're going to get that score. Stamp it. Put the Steve stamp on it. Yeah.
All right. And I guess the variation of this question would be, right? Do we score first or do we get scored on first?
Well, we score first.
Huh.
Our defense is way too stout.
Well, I think that's true. I think that I'll give it to Galaxy. Galaxy will score first, and then that's all they're going to get. I think Hebert's going to get caught sleeping like he did, and they're going to put one over Berkey, and Berkey's going to try to rip his chin off, and all of a sudden they'll start playing right. We haven't seen angry Berkey, so like I do think Hebert's going to lose a contact. How freaking weird was that last night? Hebert loses a contact, and they didn't have spares on the sideline. They literally ran to the locker room to find this dude's contact. We could have lost that damn match in the last 2 minutes of the game because of a contact. And I do like how the referee told Hebert to get off the pitch, and he did. And he's like, I don't have my eyes. I can't see. Hebert just took a yellow because of that. But, like, they didn't have a contact for him. That was insane.
Unbelievable.
That was insane.
And they couldn't. The coaching staff couldn't even figure out what he was saying. It was super obvious. He's pointing to his eye. What do you think he's trying to say?
His eyeball.
Come on.
What is it, boy? Is your knee hurt? Like, no, it's my fucking eye.
So that's a good point too. I guess to speak to our defense, right? As hard as they were pressing, we didn't allow a score even when we were one man down.
Yeah.
And that's kind of remarkable as well.
That's a good point.
Well, gentlemen, that's all I got.
Far out.
Okay. Our next segment is one of our favorite goal or no goal. We typically take things from social media and present it to our group and say goal or no goal. The first one said, and Steve is going to absolutely love this one. You ready, Steve?
Hit me, daddy.
Top location 662 on Reddit said, well, that's 2 more points than Kansas has.
That is. Okay, so there was some troll from Kansas on our boards today, and he was trying to act like he was a businessman. I went and looked at his stat. It's like his profile. Sure, that was all Kansas stuff. So I told him, go back, enjoy your dry-ass barbecue, and leave us alone. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I am so glad that Kansas has not lost 2 games in a row. That makes Daddy feel great. That's a goal for sure.
What about you, Andre?
Goal,
Yeah.
That's enough said.
It is so funny that this is our rival. It could have been the Fire. The Fire would have been the easiest one, but the MLS shoehorned us into each other, and those assholes sued a podcast because they said soccer capital. And it all started from there. And those little pencil neck geeks out there in Kansas are just losers. I am so glad to hate them. All right. So here's mine from Nicotine on Reddit. Says, I know the saying defense wins championships, but I don't think they meant 100-to-1 ratio for defense to offense. 100-to-0 ratio. Goal or no goal.
Yeah, that's a goal. They're 100% right. A defense really does win championships. It really is super important, and sometimes I think it's underrated, but you got to score. Right. You can't win unless you score. At best, you can draw, which we've seen a couple times now. So, goal.
Goal, right? We need to get points. We need to get on the board, So
yeah. This is a little bit of deja vu from last year, where it's like it's another draw, and we just slide further. It's just like a slow death every draw. But hey, 2 clean sheets, I guess.
Yeah.
I got this one for you. This is from STL Soccer News, one of our favorite guys.
Yeah, good guy.
He said, and I'm paraphrasing, anybody still bummed about Tim Parker, ? Kessler has been the best MLS defender through these 2 games. Goal or no goal?
I would say he's been the best city defender. I haven't seen the whole MLS, so I would say no goal on the best defender in the entire MLS. But I will say for sure it's a goal that we got the better end of that trade. What about you, Andre? What do you think?
I agree with you. I'm not keeping up with the entire MLS right now. I'm just kind of looking at what we're doing. So it's hard for me to kind of go on that.
I guess the spirit that he's trying to say is, do we miss Tim Parker? And in that spirit, I would definitely say that Kessler has been such a bright spot for us 2 games in. And hopefully it's for the next 32 games that he's, just one of our man of the match every single game. That I'm good with that. I think Tim Parker, he's a great player. I loved having him. He was really special to St. Louis while he was here. But ultimately, Kessler is younger. He's fitting very well in this 3-back system.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to give Mr. Soccer News here a goal.
All right. Did you guys happen to see the tifo that San Diego unveiled before the
Remind
match?
us?
So it was their tifo was basically just their big logo, the Blender logo, and underneath it was a second part, and underneath it said San Diego FC. So that was their tifo. And this person on Reddit, Air Reckle, says this gives off it is your birthday energy. And then someone else commented, my 9-year-old made a better birthday card for me. So I hope you can go and see that. But it was for a very first tifo, it was just like we're here, guys. It really gave off like San Diego energy. So let's see. Oh, here we go. Shags Magoo on Reddit says, I know the number one rule is that we don't complain about road points, but we really do need to score a goal at some point, goal or no goal.
Goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a goal.
Yeah, I'm going to say goal. And Steve and I were going to talk about this before we started on air tonight. The thing is in American sports, a lot of times we're thinking, okay, we're looking at our win ratio. So like if you think baseball, right now we're essentially like 500. But the problem is we have 1 point from each game. I would actually rather gamble a little bit more, because had we won one game and lost another, we would have had 3 points compared to just having 2 points. Draws are okay, especially when you're away and against a tough opponent. But that can't be your goal at all. And this is Catacon on Reddit. Well, at least we defended our expansion team win record, because we had the 5 wins straight during our inaugural season.
Yeah, that's a goal for me. That may have been something. I don't, I know that front offices say they're not really concerned about like those kind of things, but I think they were. I think that you need to stop this now so that this team doesn't become the next St. Louis City. We want to be able to say we were the only team to start off 5-0 in our expansion season. You don't want to give these up-and-comers another chance. So, yeah, for goal for sure for me.
I'm not sure. I think we're holding on to that because that was amazing. That was a great run in our inaugural season. But if we were doing better right now, if we're scoring goals, I kind of would be like, sure, But I kind of want us, I guess maybe because I'm piggybacking off something else right now, of another emotion. I mean, leaning towards no goal. Like,
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to win, man.
Yes, that would have been great. But I think as soon as that match started and you see these guys just zipping up and down the field, like, this is going to be a long night. This is going to be so long.
So actually, I'm going to ask you guys this. Goal or no goal? Are we copium here? Are we coping, right? Because so far, 2 of our goal or no goals, one was, well, that's 2 more points than Kansas. And then this other one is, well, at least we defended our expansion team win record. Is this what, like, the Cubs do, in baseball?
We ain't got nothing else. Well, we ain't got nothing else. You got to find someone else to kick, and they're easy targets. Kansas is an easy target, and the San Diego outlet with this nonsense at the end of the game, it's fine with me. Let's all put a little copium mask on and give a big old deep inhale. That's fine with me.
So goal or no goal?
That's a goal for me, buddy.
I think because we're in purgatory right now, we're not doing kind of just like, I got to focus on something else, right?
You have, oh man, some of the discussions that AJ and I had last year with all these draws is like, what do we talk about? Some guy had like a red shirt on. Like, that was weird, right? Like, that's all we could talk about. And it's just like, how many more times can you complain about this, that, and that? So like, we got to find something else to chat about. Okay, one more. Let's do one for me. So on Reddit, Derp Cream Cone says, a city draw, we're so back. Let's tuck our ties beneath our widow collars. Goal or no goal, we're so back.
Well, there's a team.
There is that.
Yes. So
What do you think, Andre? Our last little segment here, we're going to do closing arguments, kind of like a lawyer. If you had 30 seconds just to kind of close up what your final thoughts are, what would it be? We'll start with Andre.
Well, one, I kind of want this cold snap win to be over. I kind of want to go to a game and see it in person. But beyond that, it's just I've never been to a game where I've seen them win. I kind of would like to go see them win. Guys, get your crap together. Like, let's just kind of put a W up there, man.
listen, we know Kendall watches this podcast. We've seen her. So like, hey, get it together. Get this team together. Let's give Andre a win. I know you watch, Carolyn. Let's go.
But I mean, all things considered, right? You know, I'm still glad that we have soccer back and I get to watch it. You know, it's kind of like a nice ritual, like, you know, when football's over, I get to watch football, and it's kind of like nice to kind of just be part of it, you know. And I also think it makes the city better. Like, it kind of brings us together. I love going out and seeing like all the jersey, all the gear for city soccer, right? So I don't know, just get it together, guys, and let's enjoy the time we have together.
Steve.
So this was an interesting match. I was really glad to see that we had we could talk about something. That defense was just amazing. And I am glad that we have soccer again, yes, but I'm glad that we don't look like a sad team. The energy out there is very high. We definitely looked like we could have won a lot of times. That offense just wasn't there. But again, I am putting my little conspiracy tinfoil hat on that. I'm not convinced that wasn't by design. I'm not convinced that they saw something in San Diego's offense that they're really good at driving, but if we don't give them holes, they're not scoring. So I wonder if they look back at that LA game and they saw like those 2 goals they had, it was because of some laziness or something. They just tightened that up and they just said, make us lose. And that was exciting for me. I think we tried the offensive attack in Colorado against Colorado, and that didn't work. So we went the other direction, and now we're going to like synergize, and we're going to do some weird Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh thing where everything explodes in bright light and we score 3 goals. And that's what's going to happen. Yes, we're going to go another direction. We're going to go Super Saiyan on them fools in Carson. We're going to come out and win. So that's kind of like my takeaway, to see like we're making this big city monster out of offense and defense games, and now we're going to combine the 2 together.
Yeah, my closing argument is fans don't freak out quite yet. I'm not trying to have the copium and hopium going on here, and I don't want to get addicted to that, but I think it's a little too early. The thing is soccer is just a different kind of sport, especially in that first game. We had, what was it, like 13 shots on goal or something crazy like that. Eventually things are going to go in. That could have very easily had been a 3-0 game, and we would be having totally different discussion right now. I think it's way too early to panic. I think we need to get into like maybe 5 games to truly see a trend. If we're still drawing out after 5 games,
oh my God,
fine. The sky is falling and we're in trouble. I get it. But there was just a chance, because sometimes it happens. A team just does really well against a certain aspect of your team. In this case, San Diego, for whatever reason, just was owning our midfield. But at the same time, we owned our defense, and aka their attacking third. So it just so happened that we just kind of canceled each other out.
Yeah.
So don't panic yet, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm going to panic because I predicted this team would have like 60 some odd points, and this is a hard start, man. This ain't going to work well for me. Yeah. That's what I'm panicking. I know Andre wrote that crap down, so like he's gonna hold me accountable. He's like, "Where you at, G?" Like,
he is so gonna hold you accountable.
We're gonna get them all later. That's what we're gonna do. That's what I'm.
Well, you know what's worse?
It's a matter.
Didn't
of
I
getting
pick like
right
one
time.
more point than you? What's that?
It's a matter of getting hot at the right time.
Yeah. All we need to do is go on a run. 4, 5, 8 games in a row wins. It could happen, right?
I kind of wonder, because I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I wonder if maybe we kind of took it easy so that we have back-to-back road games on the West Coast. And maybe that's kind of why we came off a little sluggish. Maybe we're kind of going to let it go against Galaxy.
Maybe they're just so chill out there. They just want to surf and stuff, man. It's just like, it's just San Diego, bro. We catch some waves, and they forgot, oh shit, we got soccer. And then they took their sandals off and ran up to the bus and got to the stadium. Like, we're just so relaxed, man. That's what it was.
Yeah, maybe,
They got to get back here in this tense ass weather and get their act back together. That's what they got to do.
Mm-hmm.
They got to put on socks because it's so damn cold all the time.
Brother Steve, you want to take us out?
All right, so you're going to be able to catch us all over the place. You're going to catch us on Blue Sky, on Facebook. We have a website. It's stlcityshowdown.weebly.com. We post the ref reports every single week. Coming out in the next couple of days, you're going to see the fan polls. Every single game we post a poll. We love that you all participate and actually fill those out, and that's really cool so we can see what you think. So you'll be able to catch us up on all there. Please join us if you ever want to kind of hop on and talk shop with us. We would love to have many people on. So go ahead and reach us out on any of those places. But there's a couple words we need to say. So breathe in, get nice and zen, and shout, "Offer City tonight!"
All for City.